Hello, Ms. Buchanan's Algebra 1A. I am looking at this Unit 3. It's March 2nd. Unit 3, Homework 2, Real World Graphs. Let's take a look at some of these real quick. You're going to want to pause this as I go through this so you can make yours look better than mine do. Sketch the following graphs. I'm going to do the odd ones. Go ahead and try the even ones on your own. Don't worry about making mistakes. Learn from them and you're making progress. The number of customers at a restaurant depends on the time of day. Graph time on the x-axis and the number of customers on the y-axis. So I have time and I have customers. This is my y, this is my x. Y is always vertical, x is always horizontal. So I'm just thinking maybe they have a rush for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So the customers rise and then they go away. They come back for lunch and go away, and more customers come in for dinner. That's what I'm thinking. Unless you're like known for just breakfast, and then it kind of drops off, and I don't know. Or just dinner, maybe you're not open for breakfast, and it just is going to slowly build up, and then dinner, whatever. You can make it look a little bit different because there's not much detail given on that one. Number 3, this has more detail. A plant grows quickly at first and then remains at a constant height during the dry spell, then grows at a steady pace. Graph time on the x-axis and heights on the y-axis. So it's growing quickly at first and then kind of remains at a constant height during a dry spell, so it just stayed at the same height. Number 5, an oven is set for 425 Fahrenheit and a pizza is baked in the oven and the oven is turned off. Graph time on the x-axis and oven temperature on the y-axis. So we're preheating the oven. It reaches 425. It stays and bakes that pizza for a certain length of time and then it's turned off. And it cools down. Now we have to pick which graph fits this description. So it's either A or B. Jonah took a ride on a Ferris wheel. Which graph best represents his distance from the ground? So he goes up and then he comes back down, goes up and comes back down. All should be the same. This would be like a lopsided or something weird. He doesn't go up as high. I don't know. B would be a broken Ferris wheel, I would think. Number 9, Frank flew from Japan to Australia. Which graph represents his distance to the equator during the flight? Well, if you don't know, here's your little globe. Here's Japan. Here's Australia, the land down under. And as you go from Japan to Australia, that line is the equator. You get really close to it, and then you start to get far away from it. So you get the distance, you're away from, to start in Japan, you're away from the equator, and then you get to the equator over time, and then you go away from the equator again to get to Australia. So B works. Kiera walked up a hill at a steady pace and then ran down the hill. Which graph best represents her speed? It would be A, walking at a steady pace and then increasing speed. Although this looks like a picture of the hill, her going up and going down, this is not a graph for her speed over time. I didn't do number 11, notice I did 10 instead, because number 11 is going to be, I want you to come up with your own description of this. I don't want everybody to have my description of it. So describe a real life situation that would create the graph to the right, include labels on the X and Y axis. So something that kind of starts off and, I don't know, maybe if you're doing speed, it slows down. And then maybe you're at a steady, slow speed for a while and then speeds up, give a little story about something, maybe you're going for a bike ride and, you're slowing down, and you go at a real slow pace for just a few minutes. And then at the end, you really go fast. And you just keep increasing your speed, something like that, if you want to do speed and time. That's just an example that you could use. Hopefully that's helpful to you.